Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Atkinson, and today I am joined by Tom Williams, founder of Find a Home Online, a hybrid estate agency built from scratch after being made redundant during the recession. So, 16 years later, he's still going strong, still growing, and still doing things his own way. Tom, welcome to the Growth Diary.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
My pleasure. So, going back to the very beginning, you started the business from your spare bedroom, essentially, with no backing, no real tangible money to really properly invest into something. But at the same time, there was no real other estate agency in the area doing what you were doing specifically. So, what made you decide on moving forward with what you're doing?
Yeah, I had a bit of a eureka moment, really. I'd heard vaguely about online estate agents, most of whom at the time were national online agents based in Essex. And I was at the stage in my career, having worked my way up from a junior negotiator to a branch manager. And then, of course, I was made redundant. I had two children at home. I'd just put a six-figure extension on my house. So I literally did not have any money at all. So times were tough. Back in 2010, it was the worst recession since the Second World War, and things were really hard. So I didn't even think about going to the bank or going down the traditional route. And I found this, the online model, and I could see that they were charging lower fees. And that they were taking money up front rather than the traditional route of paying at the end. And it was also something that I could do from home to begin with. Start off and then build up. And that's what I did. I contacted the builder who'd done my extension, and we built an office in the back garden. And that's where I started. I did I'm no builder, but I did the labouring. I'm relatively fit, and off I went. So started off with no properties. I leaflet dropped in the local area, and that's how I got my first sales instruction. So yeah, it was different times, and it was fun at the time, but also very scary.
Yes.
And there was also a lot of resistance. People were saying to me, "Oh, you need a shop premises. Online's not going to work." And we've only got to look where we are now with all the different business models. You've
Mm.
got people working from home. You've got EXP, who I believe are the biggest single agency in the UK. That's what I'm informed now. So things have changed over the time.
Yeah, it's funny when people say things like, "Oh, that's not going to work," because you remember that's what Blockbuster said to Netflix, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a bit shit to be a Blockbuster right now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I'm sure they've got lots of regrets.
Yes, 100%. So remarkable that you spotted that online agency model before it really existed. So you had that foresight, and the Purple Bricks, as one of the biggest players, came in back in, what was it, 2014, I think. So
20.
that's 4 years after you had a bit of time in the field for yourself, really, didn't you?
Yes, yeah,
So
we
what
did.
was that? What was that early period like in getting people on board with the whole idea of online?
Yeah, well, the growth happened relatively quickly. The first year was tough, as it is with any business. And then after a year, I was starting to employ staff, and then we moved from the home-based office into serviced offices. And then things really took off. We've always tried to do things in the local area because it makes more sense for getting to properties and all the rest of it. But we were doing stuff all over the country, and certainly in the wider Staffordshire area as well. So yeah, we were really busy.
And so you adapt, go more local, and take on a high street office, and you pivoted into lettings at that point as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did lettings from day one. I
Right.
look
So,
back now and I wish I'd done more lettings. We were so busy on the sales side, I focused on that. It's only been really the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 years that I've really pushed the lettings.
yeah.
And we manage around 100 fully managed units now, and quite a sizable amount of let-only property. So we're busy on that now as well, which we've had to be. You've got to adapt to the ever-changing market.
And what would you say the percentage split is between the two sides?
Yeah, it's now around 50-50 on
Is it
both.
right?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Do you still believe that the upfront pay model is still relevant now as it was back then when you started?
Yeah, I do. It works for people. However, you've got to have trust in the agent if you're a consumer to go for it, because there's still, you know, People will say, "Oh, what's your motivation to sell the property if you've been paid up front?" So there is still a lot of that. And also with when Purple Bricks and a lot of the other online national agents came into it in the mid, there was a lot of then negativity after a while towards those sorts of agents, because if stuff wasn't selling or the agent that they used wasn't local and they were perhaps overpricing the houses and things weren't selling, then the consumer, the home seller's looking at that agent and thinking, well, you've taken my money, you haven't sold the house, but then why didn't the house sell? Was it the agent, or was it was it the agent or the consumer? Basically, in my view, the house was overpriced, because I'm a firm believer if you price any property correctly, you're going to sell it, regardless of where you're based, who you are. And then, of course, other things come into play. You've got to offer, you know, you can offer a low cost upfront payment method and save people thousands of pounds, but you've got to offer a good service with that as well.
100%.
So I believe if you're doing both, then yeah, there's still mileage in this business model, definitely.
Yeah. But they say that there's three reasons why a property won't sell, and that's the agent, the price, or the price and the agent, you know? So I think that stands true, doesn't it? It's obvious.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. But the good news for you is there's a lot of rubbish agents out there. So, yeah, you're just going to stand above them and you're all good. As someone like yourself, as soon as they get into conversation with you, I'm sure they're going to be like, "This is my person that I need to be working with to sell my house or manage my property."
Well, I hope so. And in the area we work in, Stoke-on-Trent, North Staffordshire, people say it how it is. It's you can't really people use sales tactics, I'm sure, but most
Mm.
people are aware of that. I'm a firm believer. If you do what you say you're going to do, you offer a good service, then you will always have work coming in. And if you can do it at a good price so that they come back,
Mm.
and they talk to the friends, it's the same as any business. If you do a good job for somebody, they will return and recommend.
And looking at the portals now, Rightmove is going through a real tension point, especially for independent agents right now. And you mentioned I think there's some legal action brewing. How are you thinking about the portal landscape moving forward? Are you thinking about transitioning away from Rightmove?
Yeah, I think it's virtually impossible to move away from them at the moment, because they are so big and
Mm.
so powerful. I think the problem for the vast majority of the agents in the country, especially the independents, is the phenomenal price increases that are seen annually
Mm.
with Rightmove, and that's compared against their competitors, Zoopla and On the Market, who are both much better value. But Rightmove, and don't get me wrong, in my early days as an online agent, I used to push Rightmove. I still push it to a degree, because that gave me an even playing field against the big boys. They couldn't turn around and say, well, I wouldn't go and use Find a Home online because they don't advertise on Rightmove. And it was a way in really for online agents. So yeah, to answer your question moving forward, I don't think anybody commercially can really come away from Rightmove at the moment. Will the AI portals get some traction? Yes, but it's going to take time.
Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day, was it?
No.
Yeah. But with the growth and the rapid growth that we're seeing with AI, I wouldn't be surprised if we say 2-3 years time down the line that we see a massive shift in the market, unless Rightmove do something radical with AI themselves.
Well, I believe they have already started to do some things,
Mm.
to, I suppose, avert the threat from the AI portal.
You're already using AI, aren't you, at the moment? So are you getting your staff to adopt it too?
I'm trying. I'm the oldest in the office, and you could say the dinosaur of the office. But my team, they're quite happy to use TikTok and some of these other modern, but they're struggling a little bit with AI. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm pushing it, because it's the same as anything. Once you try it and you realize it's not scary, you're going to use it all the time,
Yeah.
and it's inexpensive at the moment. I pay for the I think there are three different. There's the free one, there's a business one that is quite expensive, and there's another one that's it's £20 a month, and
Yeah.
oh, the value I'm getting from that, yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. Are you sort of sensing there's a bit of a balance between how much you use it, and still keeping the human touch and keeping that human element in the business as well? So thinking more back end rather than front end of the business.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to be careful it doesn't take over everything. And you know yourself, if you see something written on the internet, you can tell if it's AI.
Mm.
And when you write something yourself, I'm writing to customers at the moment, having, emailing and things like that using AI. And I'm thinking, oh, are they suddenly thinking I've swallowed a dictionary or my English has improved dramatically?
Yeah.
So, and, you've also got to bear in mind for your website and things like that. Is Google gonna rank you higher if they can see that you've written the stuff on the website yourself rather than just going down the some would say lazy AI route? And when we see it with sales descriptions, other estate agents, they are writing everything in AI, and they are then not checking their sales descriptions. And there are inaccuracies, it's not perfect, is it? It's
No, yeah. I think it's critical to always sense check. And I think people see the results that immediately pulls out and think, oh, that's really impressive. I'll just use that and I can trust in it completely. It's something that can speed up some of the manual tasks, but you always just got to be that fence before it goes out to market. You've just got to go, right, hold on a second. Is that right? Okay, yes or no. And then let it go. But there's a lot of that going on where they're not checking. And I think I saw something on Instagram where there were some creatives and they've clearly used AI for a billboard at Manchester Airport. I don't know
right.
if you saw this,
No,
but
no.
it was an AI image on a big billboard, and there was a picture of a group of people, and one of them was a photographer, and the photographer had three arms because he had both hands on the camera, and he had a
Hey,
third
brilliant.
arm going around the next person. I was like, that's hilarious.
Who's missing that at Manchester Airport, it's £1 billion bid, whatever it is,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
someone's gotta check that off, haven't they, surely? Sign it
surely.
off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And
That's
and and,
brilliant.
and
I hadn't seen that.
yeah, yeah, have a look into that. That's a good one. But I'm sure someone probably got a good talking to about that one. So 16 years in, and you've managed hundreds of properties. You're running sales and letting simultaneously, and you're working multiple days a week. Obviously, I'm sure you probably don't get much downtime. But what does the next chapter look like for you and your business?
The next chapter really is to continue to grow the lettings arm. I think now we've had a big exit of landlords due to the Renters' Rights Act and a various thing with, government. I think, successive governments now, not just the one we've got, but they're making it a bit harder for landlords. So I
Mm,
think the landlords now that are still here, they're gonna stay.
mm,
It's getting more landlords. That is one of the things I'm looking to do, and it's going back to the online routes as well on the sales side as well, and pushing that again, and pushing the value because, I went to a property last week and the chap there was gonna be paying a high street agent 3 grand plus VAT, which is 3,600 including the VAT, to sell his house. And he had had 3 or 4 agents out, including ourselves, and they'd all said, "You've got a great saleable house. It's beautiful. We'll sell it straight away." So anyway, he opted for our 950 including VAT package, and he sold it straight away. Now, it's getting that message out to people because I, for one, as a consumer, if I was to put my house up for sale and an agent was gonna tell me they were gonna sell it quickly, well, what are you doing for that 3,600 that this other company can do for 950,
yeah,
including VAT?
yeah, yeah,
And it's not just me, I've got people who use us who are millionaires and they just begrudge paying those fees. And yeah, so
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
next push really, is getting back to, our roots, what the business started on 16 years ago, because the online estate agency market has taken lots of knocks.
Mm,
There's not many agents there who were there 16 years ago.
mm,
A lot have I've gone to the wall, and it's a shame really for that sector. Um, so yeah.
So knowing what you know now, if you had the opportunity to go back and start all over again, what would you do differently now?
Well, that's a very, very good question. It's difficult for me because I've always, prior to running an online agency, I've always worked in high street agents. And if I, yeah, would I have gone down that route and had multiple branches? Yes, probably I would. The only other thing I'd have done differently to what I've done is I would have built the lettings up from day one and not just prioritized on sales. But it was very, very difficult when you're getting so much sales stuff coming in. The lettings are always seen as a little bit of a, well, they were then. I don't see them like that because I work equally on both sides. But to traditional sales agents, they were always seen as, harder work, but they're not. When times are tough, such as, you have a pandemic like COVID, if you've got a decent rental stock, which we had, that's bringing you money in. If
Yeah.
you're on sales only, you're very, very vulnerable.
Yeah. And now if you had a magic wand that you could wave your business and you just thought, right, okay, I just do that and I can fix these controllable things. Obviously we got pandemics we can't control, wars we can't control, but something that you can. What would you change? What would you fix right now?
Where are we? Yeah, what angle are you looking at? Fixing, keeping something.
Well, whether it's growing if it's growing the business, if it's more leads or is it manual processes?
Yeah, no, it's quite poignant as well, given where we are with it as well. I would ask the government to look at the Renters' Rights Act
Uh-huh.
because I do feel there are elements of that that need to change
Hmm.
and are unfair on all sides. So, for example, for tenants, okay, so there's been a lot in the press that, oh, the Renters' Rights Act, it's terrible for landlords. But as of the 1st of May, tenants have to give the landlord 2 months' notice.
Mm.
Well, if you were on a periodic tenancy now as a tenant, you've only got to give a month's notice.
Right.
So, also, if you were a tenant, I've got a tenant who likes to pay her rent every 6 months. She is unable to do that now. She's got to pay monthly. So there are, there's quite a bit. I could be here all day talking about the Renters' Rights Act, but yeah,
Yeah.
that is what I would change at the moment for the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. And for yourself within your business, what would you look to change or if you could have something help you?
I would, yeah, like somebody to come along with a massive budget, and hit it mass marketing.
Yeah.
Now, what I would do is I would look at it to bring in local agents using our business and our business model. Yes. Yeah. I'd
You
go,
would employ them directly or how would that work?
yeah, I'd probably now go down the franchise route, a bit like EXP or
Yeah.
what Purple Bricks are looking to do, what Yopa
Mm.
have done quite successfully. So Yopa, I'm going to say they came into the online agency market about 2016, 2017. Could have
Right.
been 2015, so I may be wrong there. They, I believe, are backed by the chap who, what was that? I don't know. Was that Strike? Anyway, they've got a backer, big money backer, and they now have gone down the local agent franchising route, and that seems to be working for them. So yeah, I'd go down that route, local agents.
Would you look to broaden out your demographic in terms of your captured
Yes,
market?
yeah,
Where are you currently catering for?
yeah. We'll go pretty much anywhere, but within reason. But yeah, we cover Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle-under-Lyme, the whole of Staffordshire, and we go into
Mm.
Cheshire as well, and into
Right.
Derbyshire because we border on Cheshire and Derbyshire, and into Shropshire as well.
Right. And would you look to go national then? Is that your goal?
If somebody came along, it's very difficult when you've had a business as long as I have.
Mm.
People, you, you sort of. It's like I've got 2 children, so I'm not. But it's like having another child in a way
Mm.
because it's your baby. You're there from the beginning, and you'll be there at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's difficult. And when you're running it day in, day out, which I'm sure you're a hardworking man. You know
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
You've got to sometimes sit back and have the foresight or look at your business. And doing something like this today has given me a bit of that really, and it's nice talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult to let go.
Yeah. Also to have the work-life balance because, you could just keep working, 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 and something will be sacrificed. So it's where you find yourself being content, I think, with what you've achieved.
Yeah. And the older you get, the more you do sit back and think, well, what do I want to do?
What's important.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes it takes big life events, some good, some bad to that. And as you get older, you get a few of those along the way
You
just
do.
through experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
and puts things in perspective and makes you alter your goals somewhat. Tom, honestly, it's been a brilliant conversation. 16 years in the business, you're still running it strong, and you've got a great space in the market. Really appreciate your honesty and your time today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate having me on.
Yeah, you've been a great guest. Thank you so much.